Hello everybody and welcome back. I'm Camp Christo and this is The Light in the East. Recently we have begun to earn our Light in the East name as our education level is now average and hopefully it's only going to go up from here. We are engaged in attempts to force Genoa to peace out of this war by sieging down some of their holdings in the north, and we're going to see what we can do to catch this navy, which I suspect we'll be able to do because it's a very short distance between these two provinces compared to where they can run to. They do have some really powerful ships, but with these kind of numbers on our side, I feel confident that we can smash them aside, get a little bit of war score, encourage them to quit this fruitless endeavor, and get on with things. So, more cores, roads, yes, absolutely. Probably we don't have separatism here, I'd guess, because we... Oh no, we do have separatism as well. Why can we core it then? Just really good legitimacy. And really good estate loyalty there as well. Fair enough. The plague has come. Damn it. Okay. It's just a mild plague, even in a huge city. So this isn't going to be so bad. Thank God. It'll probably be worse than that in Bursa, because it will spread and get modified by all of the really easy spread stuff. But where did it come from in the end? Who gave us this plague? Who shall I blame? Apart from, you know, Allah. Where... the heck? What? There's no plague! How did we get the plague? I don't understand. I don't understand, but oh well. Alright, we'll head south, crush the Genoese army. God, look how much they damaged our ships, even though we had massive numerical advantage. A massive numerical advantage, excuse me. And we'll get this siege started, even if we're not going to finish it. That seems good. So I joined the trade league. That's fine. Yeah, we'll get the siege going just to get the occupied and besieged provinces modifier. Give these guys maybe 1 or 2 months of repairing. What have we got to upgrade? Oh god, there's tons to upgrade. Are we still using... How have I got war cogs? Oh, I must have captured it. I must have captured them from the Genoese. Nice. What could I upgrade? I guess upgrading would turn the war cogs into Drow Raiders, even though that's actually a downgrade, I suspect. I guess. Bum, bum, bum. Alright, down to 5% ahead of time here, so I will take this to help us in our battles in the south. You guys not making any headway. Genoa, you can go. Like this can end. This can be over whenever you want it to be over. And the longer you don't let it be over, the more motivated I'm going to be to come and blockade you and steal some of your wealth. So I strongly recommend you just call it a day and push off. Cool. We should be able to crush these guys. We've got like a 2 tech advantage on them now. Yeah. So it should be pretty easy. Plus 2 cavalry versus just 1. Which means we're going to get a nice little flanking bonus. Not ideally placed cavalry, but still. Look at that. Absolute wipeout. Stack wipe, 1,000 casualties. Oof. Chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful thing. See if we can take out a little bit more of their navy. And we'll bring out this this trade ship here as well. Oh, but not straight into one of their ships. Darn it! Freaking input lag. Alright, that was just 2 trade ships. Scared them off once we've got here. Now we can go blockade them. Marvelous. Marvelous. It's a funny thing streaming when chat is quiet, because it's totally fine. Obviously, chat, I'm not trying to impress you. If you just want to watch, just want to, you know, background noise, or even maybe you're paying loads of attention, but you don't like talking in chat. That's fine, obviously. But it's a bizarre experience recording something with an audience of right now 17 people, knowing that like 500 to 800 people are going to watch on YouTube, and it's a very strange dynamic because you end up with these, you know, firstly, you sometimes have conflicting desires from each group, YouTube tends to not want you to talk to Twitch chat. Twitch chat does, for example. And secondly, you get, you know, it's easy to become self-conscious as someone making content for YouTube, to think like, for example, oh, I have 17 viewers, that's not very many. But this is wrong. Numbers are very hard to keep in perspective. How many, like, dear viewer, in your life, how many times have 17 people decided, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to, and this is not an insult. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to spend time listening to me, John. You know, just in case there's some Johns in the audience for me to slightly freak out. It's not a very common thing. Like, and, you know, on YouTube, you know, 600 people, I'm not just trying to, like, blow my own horn here, because I know I'm not a very big YouTuber, but 600 or odd people are probably going to watch this video, which is crazy. Like, in any context, that's crazy. That's more people than will probably, you know, spend time really consciously listening to what I have to say in my entire life, in all likelihood. Well, that's not true, because I've hosted some conferences, but still, apart from that, it's a very strange experience, this kind of localization of, or delocalization of community, which means that, you know, the number of people who are like you and therefore kind of want to listen to you talk is so much higher than it normally would be. I'm gonna try and get money from Genoa, but I'm just wondering whether we should take cash or war reparations. Probably war reparations, because it doesn't give any inflation. So we'll take that. Your master thesis was done in front of 5 people, and in your opinion, that is already far too many. That is highly relatable. Alright, you lot, come over here. Just with the transports, ideally. The rest of you, help me take Naxos, please. And yeah, I think it looks like we will take Naxos in this war as well. It's a really successful war. I don't know how much land we're going to be able to take in the end, but this is a very successful war. How much money are we getting off Genoa per month then? 2 ducats a month? That's pretty good. 2 ducats a month for 10 years? What is that? 240 ducats? It's not bad. It's more than we were going to get in cash if we just asked for cash. So, pretty good. All right. We are getting up there in the cash department right now. So, oh, look at that. Plague passed over. Oh, it's so good. That is one of the most beautiful sights in all of gaming. A plague has passed over. Amazing. We would like to build a city hall first, I think. Or maybe we build, no, we should build the craftsman's district first, because sure, this gives more urban gravity, but this one gets people to work sooner, building, you know, giving us more cash that we can in the future spend on other stuff. Then again, we can start the city hall right now, so let's do that before I forget. Excellent. Are we actually going to catch their navy out? Yeah, that was dumb. Why did they let me do that? We will send... Where's the rest of my transports, by the way? Ah, of course, they're up here. I'll bring you back manually. So I want this navy down here. And you 3 with a siege leader. Hop out onto here if you would be so good. Excuse me. Oh, they were trying to take the other fleet, right. Fixed that, but now I'll need to reissue the movement order to this fleet. Although we don't actually need more men, right? Because this is a... How is this a level 3 fort? Oh, you got level 2 local fortifications. You got 4 development. How are you maintaining level 2 local fortifications? What's the autonomy? 14.8%. What in the world? That means that the burgher estate in this province, which only owns 14.8% of the land, can afford a level 2 local fortifications? Pull the other one, mate. That seems unlikely. Can I get military access from you? I know you hate me, but I'm really strong. Yeah, I can. Hello? Recall, please. Thank you. Forget landing by sea. It takes too long. We're going to walk instead. And we're going to take the minimum men, which will be 6,000. So we'll take slightly more than that. Good. And now we'll see whether this 3 siege actually gives more advantage in the siege. 3 siege pip on the general actually gives more advantage in the siege. I believe it won't, but we will see. I think you're right, though. Someone said earlier, maneuver is what allows you to... add effective cannons to your blockades, because the number of cannons versus the local development is what affects what percentage of your blockade you get. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Move these guys up to Chaldiki. Although really it should be... Well, okay, 3 is enough, so that's fine. So let's have a look here. Yeah, no, as I suspected, still 0 blockade. It doesn't add to this, does it? No. So what does it say on the Admiral? What the what it does? You guys can go back to protecting the Aegean, I think, for now. We'll worry about more. Once we've consolidated the Aegean, we'll worry about whether we should be protecting the Aegean or doing something else. It doesn't say anywhere. Can I hover here? Leaders do a significant damage. Unit without leader will do less battle damage and suffer more casualties. Not sure casualties is the right word, considering it's a naval commander, but... and the transports. Can come up here. Actually, you can rally the transports down here. That seems fine. Now, this siege is going to take a little while. We may wish to naval barrage. We need 100 cannons. No, we need 300 cannons to order a barrage. We do not have 300 cannons available. Can you see? How can I see how many cannons this navy has? Is there any way to do that? Do I just have to, like, add it up across different types of ship? That seems bad. Government reforms. We haven't really looked at government reforms yet. We switched to roving court, I think, from delegated rulers, because the stability is beautiful. The unrest is beautiful. The centralization does hurt. But 55 is pretty good on centralization anyway. We might want to get it higher. In fact, we almost certainly want to try and be like a really centralized state, even though it's it can be damaging to be a really centralized state. It has downsides for sure, but it's also kind of fun. Weren't we thinking about switching to appointed elite? The difficulty is that we lose the 20% manpower and 5% centralization, actually. Yeah, I think we might stay military elite for now. As long as the estates are loyal, it's fine. You mean on unrest? Yeah. That is true. But I do often have disloyal estates because, you know, I'm bad. And I do mean things to them. Typically, they're going to be quite happy with us, though, because our rate of expansion should make them pretty overjoyed. You weren't playing EU4, sorry, for a long time. Is this modded or the new DLC? This is modded. We are playing the 1.29... Sorry, not 1.29, 1.29 patch of EU4. The Rule Britannia patch, I think. Or is this the... No, this is the Manchu patch, I think. Is that right? Is 1.29 Manchu? It's been years, in fairness. With MEIOU and taxes, 2.25.06. Imagine if this was from the new DLC. If this was from the new DLC, it wouldn't be at 9% reviews on Steam. It actually might be, to be fair. I'm not sure MEIOU and taxes... I don't know, what percentage of the EU4 user base, if you forced them... Like, if you just made the next update MEIOU and taxes. Not like it's optional. You can opt into MEIOU and taxes. But if you actually force the next update to be MEIOU and taxes, what proportion of the EU4 user base do you think would be happy with that? And to be clear, like, pretend MEIOU and taxes, the mod, isn't an option. It's not like you've gone from having an option to both to having no option. It's just that EU4, you know, MEIOU and taxes doesn't exist, and suddenly the update to EU4 is MEIOU and taxes. I think given the performance, it would be wildly unpopular. If it performed as well as vanilla, I think it would be... It might still only be like 40 to 50% popular. Because it is... No stab hits from that plague, nice. It is still... Like, I think M&T is better than vanilla EU4 in many ways. Especially if the performance was as good, which I know is like a kind of an absurd request. It's not. I mean, it's not a request. I'm not requesting it, but it's an absurd kind of expectation. But I think, probably at least 60% of EU4 viewership or player base rather would be very unhappy about the increased level of complexity and the slower rate of conquest and all that stuff that's in M&T. I don't know. I'm interested now. I want to do a poll on that. Maybe I'll put a poll in the M&T Discord and another one in the EU4 Discord and see how wildly optimistic the M&T fans are. Do I still have the Athens merch access? Yeah, good. M&T is great, but it's very complicated. Sometimes you just want to blob and paint the map. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Get some peasants organizing. Are they actually going to rise up? Yeah, they might. That's annoying. Nearly won this siege. At which point we can end this war. Yeah, I mean, I would be very sad if vanilla EU4 went away. Because there's definitely a simplicity to it, which is delightful. And very good fun. You know, there's a... And it's not, you know, it's worth remembering. EU4 is not a simple game. It's quite simple. Once you've sunk thousands of hours into it and you know every detail, sure, it becomes quite simple. But at its core, EU4 is a relatively complicated piece of tech. You know, it's a lot more complicated than, for example, like any mainstream strategy game made by someone that's not Paradox Interactive in the history of time. There are some non-mainstream games that are more complicated, but I don't think there's any, you know, I think there's none that really get as high as EU4. It's not really the problem with Paradox. It's the amazing thing about Paradox is that they basically have a monopoly on good strategy games. There are some other games, strategy games, that I would call good, but they definitely have a monopoly on. They're the clear leader of the pack to me. In terms of grand strategy games, there are essentially no games that are not made by Paradox that I would consider grand strategy games. I'm open to suggestions in chat, by the way, and in the YouTube comments. What are grand strategy games? Pay no attention to what I'm doing on stream, by the way. This is foul cheating. But what are some, like, there's strategy games not made by Paradox, obviously, but what are some grand strategy games? Total War is like, it's kind of arguable. Like, ignore the battles for a moment, which I know you shouldn't do if you want to enjoy Total War, and I know it's not what Total War is about. This is not like is Total War a good video game series? But ignore the battles for a moment. Does Total War have anywhere close to the same kind of economic model that EU4 has? Or even the same kind of war model? It really, really doesn't. Compared to EU4 or HOI or CK, there's just nowhere near the same quantity of peacetime content in those games. Total War Diplomacy? God, Total War Diplomacy... Fun story about Total War Diplomacy. Total War Diplomacy is how I discovered Paradox games. Let me just work out this peace deal. I hope you don't mind me rambling, YouTube, because it's, you know, we're just waiting for sieges here. So it's 9 aggressive expansion if I do it that way. And 7 that way. Okay, we'll do it this way then. Nice. It's an easy coalition. Genoa, Wallachia, Hellas, Kosovo. Every time I see Hellas, I want to sing Sabaton. Oh, I didn't turn off the Sabaton DLC today. Serbia, the Knights, and Zeta. Yep. And 3 whole ducats. Yoink. GG. Good war. Okay. And now... I'm going to release Albania. Oh no, I can't release Albania. Because this isn't Albanian land. Nuts. because this is Serbian land, so I can't release Albania from here. Well, I could release... No, I can't release Macedonia either, because this is Bulgarian. And I can't release Serbia, because they exist. Ah, but Serbia is not a subject anymore. Do we have a truce with them? We do, for 9 years. 8, sorry. Nuts. So I just got a bunch of land for nothing. Macedonia is not the primary culture of Greece. Primary nation of Greece, so I can't release... Oh, I can release Macedonia here. Okay, because Macedonia is not the primary culture of Greece, which you can tell because they're losing the core. Oh no, that's Bulgaria. Why can I release Macedonia in Bulgarian land? Huh. I don't know. But sure, I guess Macedonia rather than Albania. They don't have the cores, so we won't be able to get as free. Like, how much aggressive expansion are we going to avoid with that realistically? It's not that much. At least 4 to 6. It's not that bad. Alright, let's release Macedonia. And we'll feed them the land. And that way we'll have someone who has the right religion and is, you know, has a capital right next to it all to hold it. Now, do I want to give them Strumica? Level 1 farm estate. Basically no local wealth. Wrong culture, wrong religion. Not cored. Yeah. Yeah, but Macedonia, you can have this one. Cool. And we're going to feed them... Maybe not Serbia. Maybe we'll still try and vassalize Serbia and give them and feed them kind of within these rivers. I know that's the Danube, but I don't know what this river is. So we're going to feed you like this. Oh. Love to be able to click off a window. That's what I'm going to feed Macedonia. And then the rest we'll take ourselves. Maybe we don't give them this one. And then that will be one of our subjects. This river here, and I don't know if that or that is considered the main line of the river. Let me switch to the let me for once use the terrain map mode. Because this is the Danube here. Sorry, here. Down here, down here, down here, down here. But what is the river that goes here and here? Isn't Macedonia today like a mix of Serbian and Bulgarian? I've heard their language is very similar to Bulgarian. I actually just have no idea. That sounds plausible from what I know roughly about the history of the area, but I have no clue. Do you run all the submods with MNT? I want to check out the mod, but there are like over 20. No, don't worry about them. Play it with none. They're all just little tweaks. None of them make or break the mod at all. Sorry, just getting a let me pause. There we go. Testing. Hello. Okay, good. We're back. All right. Well, good war. Good war. Handshakes all around. Good war. Good war. We can do a few cores. Nice. One more here. Yes, please. And here. Nice. Is that actually 0? No. 1.8 rounded down to... Now, hang on. What does this mean? Hey, Paradox. Paradox. Is contributing 1.80. Love to have a 0 after a decimal point when it's not, you know, before another significant figure. 1.80% of the total overextension value. Now this, my dear viewer, is ambiguous. Does that mean it adds option A, 1.8 overextension, or option B, what it says, 1.8% of the total overextension value, which is 47.3. So 1.8% of 47.3. Oh, excuse me, 1.80% of 47.3. I suspect it's 1.8%, but that's poorly phrased. If it is that is the case. Also, why is it rounding from 1.8 to 0? What possible reason would you have to round from 1.8 to 0? It is 1.8% of 47.3. Mouse over the overextension again. Amorasa is what we're looking for. So it's actually 0.77. It's actually right. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Why does the tooltip not contain a longer version of the information that you hover over? And why does I think it should at least say is contributing 1.8% of the total overextension value brackets 0.77. That would be the most helpful way to display it. You also shouldn't round. I mean, I know in vanilla, I'm pretty sure you can't have lower than 1% overextension, so that's not their fault, but you shouldn't round values that don't need to be rounded. Spoils of war. Pretty good loot in that war. I will take the money to the court, actually. Our court is on the decline. We reduced the amount of spending. No, don't give a court. We are a stipend, rather. Don't give a stipend. We're looking for level 3 right now, which is missing 46 ducats. So actually, I will pay the amount just so we can keep it where we want it for that. And then in Bursa, they're almost done on that city hall, 3/4 or so. So we're looking at okay. Conversion successful in Biga. Nice. Let's get another one going. These are getting a little bit slow. Using percentages to explain the amount of a value explained in percentages. Problem is when using different amounts of significant numbers. Yeah, I guess. All right, we're back in. We're still spying on the Genoese, and we can claim Kaffa from over here. So that's nice. Beyond that, I don't think we have any Genoese land we are in range to claim, so we can stop spying on them. Meanwhile, the Mamluks are very happy with us. We should improve with our new subject. We could make them a march, because we're almost certainly gonna take diplomatic ideas at some point, which will give us the not being a stability hit to break a march. What is the next idea group we're going to take, by the way? Let's have that conversation to round out this episode, because we're going to get it pretty soon. Right now, we're ahead of time most on military, but the military idea groups are universally hot garbage in MEIOU and taxes, so we're not going to take one of them. Don't get me wrong, they're powerful, but very shortly we will have more men than everyone except China, and we don't need to have a good army because we have a big army. So, options. What do we need right now? What are we short of? The thing about cash in MEIOU and taxes is that you can never, ever have too much of it. So we could, and you know, the more you have early, the more you will have later, and then the more you will have later. You get compound interest on money in MEIOU and taxes to an extreme degree. Why not take quantity to have an even bigger army? Because they're all nerfed. Like, they're all nerfed into uselessness. Look at this. We've got 10% less infantry cost, the inexpensive part of the army, remember? I mean, sure, it's the most expensive part because you have the most of it, but still. 5% land maintenance. It's okay, but I mean, let's look at our land maintenance right now. It's 7.5 ducats. Our tax is 20. You can get 10% tax income from an idea, and you're getting, 5% army maintenance. It's trash. Next. 10% cavalry costs. Even worse than infantry costs. Possible advisors. It's okay, but you can usually just fire them, and you have them so long that it's usually worthwhile. These are the outkeep. Okay, I'll give it to you. That's pretty good. You're just messing with me? Fair enough. But I'm still going to do this. Artillery costs down by 10%. A joke. Land force limit plus 3. Absolute garbage. Land force limit modifier plus 10%. To be fair, it's not bad. But because if you play as a major nation in MNT, you almost always have so much lower autonomy than all of the AI that you have a so much larger army, you just don't need it. Reinforcement plus 10%, it's actually not terrible. for difficult wars, but difficult wars are uncommon. And manpower plus 20%, I won't talk crap about that one. That's a good one. That's a good idea. It's a good idea. Weren't you planning on making a Mill Ideas submod once far back in the past? After I end this episode, I'm going to show you the greatest spreadsheet that I have ever made, and I'll show you. Leadership is good, though. It's not. I agree with you, despite just disagreeing with you, but leadership is not a good idea group. Prestige and land battles, obviously trash. Land leader maneuver, like very, very mildly useful, but not really. Recover morale, army speed. Remember, this is not plus 4%. Multiplicative. This is plus 4% additive, which represents something like a plus 33% modifier at base morale regain rate. So that's pretty darn good. But again, only if you're in a difficult war, which basically don't happen. Leader siege plus 1. This is unironically really good. I don't know what the conversion is. So like what percentage of your sieges gets reduced by on average having plus 1 leader siege, but it's a significant amount. That's a good idea. No questions asked. Army tradition decay, pretty good, but you get so much manpower and you can do so many sieges in MEIOU and taxes that you tend to get all the army tradition you can ever want. Land leader shock is fine. You don't fight difficult wars is the problem with all of the military bonus ideas. You don't fight difficult wars, so you don't need land leader shock. Reinforced speed is okay. Leaves the upkeep. It's pretty good. That's pretty good because that's another whole leader with their very own, 5 shock pips and 2 siege pips that can make a big difference. And then land leader fire again. There aren't difficult wars in this game, so I mean, sorry, I shouldn't say that. There are difficult wars in this game, but basically they all happen before 1450, 1500 at the latest. And I play typically for the whole game, so that's my rundown on why these are bad. And I'm going to end the episode and try and dig out this old spreadsheet I made, because I will do a MEIOU and taxes idea rebalance submod, but I'll probably do it for 3.0 once that comes out in 2025. What does prophecy ideas do? This is the equivalent of monastic ideas, I believe, is what you get if you're Catholic. They're pretty good. You get some prestige, which is no good because you always have nice high prestige. Tolerance is really good. And that's almost effective. If you're actually converting, that's -1 unrest everywhere. Yearly legitimacy. This is actually surprisingly useful because there's far more things that can lower your legitimacy in this mod. Manpower recovery plus 5%. It's not great because it's so low, but it doesn't hurt at all. 5% morale of armies and 1 leader without upkeep. Now, combined, these two represent a really good idea. Because the morale of armies, obviously 5% is not what you're looking for. You're looking for 10, 15, but plus a leader without upkeep, pretty darn good. -2 unrest and +1 missionary. All of the ideas have a +1 missionary except state religion, but that's an amazing idea. And then monuments. Global art power plus 5%, prestige decay down. Prestige decay down is worthless, but global art power up is fairly good. It's difficult to say how good it is because your total global art power is what determines how many art centers you get. And the value of art centers is mostly connected to a very complicated system of technology spread and technology invention and local education slots. So it's really challenging to say how useful that's going to be to you. But if you're trying to build, tall, especially, tall or wide, to be honest. If you're trying to build a technologically advanced nation, art power modifiers are good. That said, 5%, not very much. Interest per annum down is totally worthless. Institution spread into pre-provinces up by 10%. Pretty darn good. Because again, typically, you're going to have high church influence and you're going to convert all your provinces. All right. Thank you for watching, everybody. On YouTube, Twitch, don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. I will see you all in the next episode. YouTube, if you're sad you're missing the spreadsheet, when I find it, I might do a video showing off the spreadsheet, which you can watch separately. But if not, there's a VOD from 2.5 years ago when I spent. I don't know if those VODs almost certainly don't still exist. But I built this spreadsheet which ranks all of the ideas in MEIOU and taxes, and I automated the spreadsheet to score all the idea groups. It took me 40 hours or something, which I will. I'm going to shut it off on stream, and I might record the video as well. Thanks for watching, YouTube. I'll see you in the next episode where we will probably go after Georgia Theodoro and see what we can do about the Black Sea coast while we burn off some Catholic aggressive expansion. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.